What's up, everybody? Got another review for you, and this time we're going to be talking about the movie Primate. It is a horror flick of a killer chimpanzee that is done in the same vein as Cujo. It is the first new movie of the year, for me at least, and this could go either way, that it's enjoyable or just downright terrible. It is that month where terrible movies get dumped, and we have good ones before, so I'm willing to play the gamble. Is it any good? Well, let's talk about it. The movie story follows a family whose pet chimpanzee, Ben, becomes a ferocious killer after contracting rabies at a pool party. Lucy, her friends, and family are then forced to barricade themselves in the pool area to survive the increasingly violent chimp's attacks, having to outsmart him with no way to call for help. For being my first new film of the year, I was actually pleasantly surprised with how much fun this movie was. It's an absolutely fantastic horror flick, but it still doesn't go without saying that it does have its fair share of issues, which of course I'll get to later. Right now, I want to talk about the great things the movie has going for it. That all includes how frightfully tense it gets, how downright gnarly and nasty it gets, and the amazing practical effects. Being one of the best things about this creature feature horror flick, I was also surprised by how hair-raising it gets with the amazing use of tension and suspense. I will admit that I was kind of terrified with the unpredictable nature of a rabid chimpanzee, not knowing what's going to happen as the movie goes on, as danger lurks around every corner. Because of that, this horror movie will keep you on your toes and also on the edge of your seat. I knew beforehand that this movie was going to be bloody, but I did not expect it to be that gross. There are graphic depictions of blunt force trauma, limbs being snapped, face ripping, and everything else you can imagine that a chimp can do. Simply said, all the kills that happen in the movie are very jaw-dropping and stomach-churning. And in a matter of speaking, you could say that this movie is bloody fun. As for the chimpanzee itself goes, the director made the choice to avoid a fully CGI chimpanzee, opting instead for a man-in-suit approach blended with advanced animatronics. The final result is a creature that feels physically present and visceral on screen. I'm glad they went with a practical effects route because I don't think the movie could have done as great if it were all done with CGI special effects. Either way, the special effects were downright amazing. When it comes to the movie's glaring issues, well, for starters, the movie itself is clearly just a reskin of the movie Cujo, replacing a Saint Bernard with a chimpanzee. They could have done things a bit more differently in this movie, but it ultimately feels like a straight up rehash. There are also plenty of plot holes to go around. The events of the movie technically shouldn't have happened in the state of Hawaii because it's the only state that is rabies free in the real world. They even address this in the movie, but still, it's just dumb. I don't want to get into details about the other plot holes because of spoilers, but sure enough, they are there. Speaking of dumb, this movie is riddled with paper-thin characters who make some of the most asinine decisions you could ever make in a horror movie as such. But then again, if the characters were actually smart, this movie would have been a whole lot shorter, even though the runtime is short enough already at an hour and 29 minutes. Even though the movie does have its shortcomings, I still managed to have a lot of fun with it regardless. The movie was a whole lot better than I initially expected, so it's actually a nice little surprise. I definitely recommend checking this movie out. Overall, Primate is a relentless, face-ripping descent into animalistic terror that is a brutal creature feature flick that blends high-tension slasher tropes with visceral, practical gore that will make even seasoned horror fans squirm. It's definitely not one of the greatest horror films ever made, as it does have plenty of room for improvement. However, it still manages to be enjoyably terrifying. With that said, this is an above average film at best. I give this movie a B-. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up my real reviews.